at his desk. You just love to see that. Junaid, I got a quick question here. Did you see the report recently that standing might not be good for you?
You know, at this point, I don't know if breathing.
That was the exact reaction I had. I'm not even going to let you finish because
I don't know.
It's like sitting is bad for you. Now standing is bad for you. Would you just pick one for heaven's sakes? I mean, I'm going to do both, but pick one.
Ridiculous.
Just absolutely ridiculous. Broccoli causes cancer, prevents cancer. Coffee is bad for you, but then it prevents Alzheimer's. I mean, for heaven's sakes, guys, figure it out. Get it together.
It's like one.
Everything in moderation.
There you go. That's what my dad used to say, Anne Marie. We're going to go with that.
There we go. All right. Appreciate you all. And we'll see you next Tuesday, Anne Marie. Ryan, we'll see you Monday.
Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.
All right. Jay said, what about leaning? Well, you know, only if you lean to the right. If you lean to the left, and no, I'm not being political. I just mean, okay, you know what? Let's just move on. All right, Sandra, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go. What do you think? Is leaning okay?
I didn't even catch what the beginning of that story
It's just a bunch of studies that say like, oh, you know, standing up is good for you, so you're not always sitting on your computer. But then it's like, oh, but Ryan was mentioning where it's like, oh no, but standing now is bad for you as well. And it's just like, okay,
are you serious?
What can we do? Can we breathe? What are we allowed to do for good health? I don't know. I know what we are allowed to do though is talk about some tickers. So give us some insights on what's coming up with your show.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Amazon, Boeing, and Nike, as well as UPS. Let's take a look at that for the Santa Rally.
All right, you got it. This is Options Trading Made Simple with Sandy.
Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra with Trading Made Simple. I'm here to show you short-term proven strategies. People think trading is a one-size-fit-all market. It's not. We live trade and train daily. Let's talk trading.
Good morning, Benzinga. How are you guys doing today? Hoping that you've had a nice week trading. Let's take a look at some charts and see what we can do. So the first thing I want to go over is AMD. So we were looking for AMD actually to break further down. But instead, what it did is it actually just consolidated. So this morning, we hit our 50% loss on a put debit spread is what we took. We did get a little momentum for one day, but it popped back up and just has been consolidating. Now, we had this on for next Friday, but my rules are on a debit spread is that as soon as your stop loss is hit, I'm out of that trade. It didn't work out in the time frame that I gave it. And so because it hit my stop loss first before the expiry, I'm out of the trade. As I take a look at AMD, you can see that we had a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, lower high, lower low, was looking for, right, this being maybe the lower high and then possibly a breakdown. But instead, because of this consolidation and momentum, you can see is rising. I don't know if it's going to get enough juice to actually go long here, but I could see this playing out to a consolidation area for probably a little bit. And so because it's not falling, it wasn't really reaching our target. And so it looks like it's a little on the move right now, but I don't think it's enough juice to keep it going. Oh, you never know, huh? If we can break this 5-minute pivot low, we could probably go lower. But now that I'm out of that trade, I typically don't come back and reanalyze it until there's another setup. So I'm going to wait for that. Let's take a look at the major indices and see where we're at. So right now, SPY, if we look at this on a daily chart, you can actually see the momentum coming down and then actually cresting right here at the 0 level and coming back up. This actually looks good for possibly a double top, and then we'll see if it breaks the top, right? So we either have this, high, low, a higher high, a higher low, Can we make a higher high? And so that's the question right here that remains. We're above the 20 on a daily. We're cresting and staying above the zero line. It actually is a nice setup for a long, but we've just been consolidating today, really going kind of nowhere. As you can see, we're up 44 cents on SPY. Let's take a look at the Qs. The Qs, you can see kind of a weaker pattern here with the momentum, but it's staying close to the zero line. So we're really just consolidating in this area for quite a long time. You can see all week we've just kind of been hanging out at the last pivot high on a daily. So really looking for either a break above or a breakdown. And you can see where the consolidation bands are here, just kind of identifying on a daily time frame where this consolidation has been. So really kind of looking for a break above 515 for a continued bullishness, or a break below 483. That's a lot of room here on a daily chart. If we go to maybe a 4-hour, you can see where, you know, we kind of crested here with consolidation at the last previous high, came back down, and it looks like it wants to break back up again to maybe possibly do a double top. I don't know. We'll see. This one looks a little weaker to me. You know, and you can see, by the way, today, you know, we've only moved about $1. Let's take a look at DIA. Now, DIA looks really strong here, right? We're up $2.42 today, and we're just coming up to some resistance right here. This actually, look at this great gap right here. We actually looked like we were going to come and fill that gap, but we did not. And now we're sitting here at resistance. If we can break above this resistance line here at 444, we could actually go higher and again do either a double top, or we're going to break the top and go higher, right? So we have a high, low, a higher low, and we're really looking for either a double top or break the top, and we have a new high. You could see the momentum is actually positive on DIA. This actually looks good for Thanksgiving week. This is when we have all the specials, you know, Black Friday. So typically speaking, everyone knows about the Santa rally. So you're really looking at a shift from spying the QQQs to DIA IWM. And so that's why I really wanted to take a look at like some names like you got, you know, let's see here. Let's take a look. We got Boeing for travel coming up for the holidays. We got Nike for Christmas. How about UPS? A lot of flow coming into UPS. So as you start to think about seasonality, start thinking about, you know, what ETFs really carry the stocks that are seasonal for this marketplace. And if you do that, you can kind of just keep your, you know, finger on the pulse of what might be happening in the economy and where money is shifting to from the institutions. So I do like to look at institutional flow to see where money is going. And right now I saw some money going into UPS, and I thought, it's been consolidating here for a while. It actually looks pretty good. You could see it's been doing absolutely nothing for a while, but it really needs to break above this 135 level, 135.31, to get to the next level, right? And you can see where it's amazing how these pivot lines, excuse me, not the pivot line, but the vertical trend line here, how it's just following that. It hit it here, it hit it here. It stays within this wedge. Look at that, perfectly stays within this wedge, comes back down. So now that we're here and we've done a double bottom, usually you either get a double top or you get a double bottom when there's going to be like some momentum happening for the opposite trend. So here you can see, you know, we had a low and a high. We come back and do this double bottom on a daily time frame, come back and we check it again. So it's like, how many times can we hit this level and it not break? That's basically what price action is telling you. So we hit it 3 times now. are we going to break this previous high here of the week? And so if we can break this 135.44, by the way, you can automate that 135.44. Let's do that. That could be fun. So let's see. This candle high here is 135.31. So if we go over to our trade tab as an example, and we take a 7-day out UPS call, and we right click that and say buy a custom order, we could say buy a custom order, let's see here, with an OCO. And so now what we do is we have a call and we have a limit order ready for a take profit. And then we also have a stop loss ready for us to get out of this position if we don't like it, if it hits our risk parameters. So from here, what we're going to do, I want to make sure that you can see this because I know that sometimes you don't. So let me see if I can change my window. Can I change my window? I think I got to go back to StreamYard and see if I can change my window here. It's too bad. Oh, I just got out of that. So let's try this again. Share screen. There's my window. It's too bad I can't get both of them on one. So now we're on our order rules, right? So this, in Thinkorswim, by the way, this is Thinkorswim via Schwab. Here you can see that what you want to do is always fill out your conditions before you do this. So because we have a stock price in mind to get into this call, we could say, okay, we're going to fill this out before we come up here, because this is really all about option pricing, right? And from option pricing, that's not what we're going to do. We're going to do it by the stock price. So if we go over here and we say, hey, I want to buy a call, you're going to leave this to the default setting of mark. And these triggers are interesting. If you're not used to these triggers, it's greater or equal to, right? This one is less than or equal to, and this one is greater than or equal to. So here we want to use the greater than or equal to. Now, if you get mixed up over here, what you can do is just come right down here at the bottom and you can read it. It says the market price of the security is greater or equal to. So that's perfect. That's what we needed, right? And what did we say that stock price was going to be? Uh-oh. Let's just put it at 135. For UPS. If we say 135, and you can customize that, of course. If you look at the chart, you see that one previous pivot high. If it's a little higher, you could do it there. But what you want to do is you want to set your stock price here. And now you come over to your limit area and you say, you know what, I'm going to buy the ask and I'm not going to give you any more for it. So you either have the ask or the bid, right? Typically speaking, if you want to get into a stock right away, that's pretty fast, you're going to do by the ask. You want to sell something pretty fast, then you sell the bid. So if you could remember that or jot it down on a notebook, and the reason I say this is because I had that when I was a new trader. I had that on a notebook for years. Buy the ask, sell the bid. And then here we're going to say good till cancel, because we don't really know, right, when the stock price is going to hit 135. Now, we bought an option for next Friday. So this could, hit any time between Monday and Friday. And by the way, because this could get me in on Monday and get me out on Monday, you want to make sure that you're using a cash account so that if it acts as a day trade, that you're not going to be penalized, right? So just think of that as well, because I get those questions quite a bit. So we got UPS. This is a method as default, greater or equal to 135, and that's going to get me in the call. Now, the thing that it's connected to are these two orders, and we call this a first triggers an OCO. Why is that called that? Well, one cancels the other out is what OCO means. So your first trigger is your buy, and then now we have a limit order, right? Now, our limit order is to take profit. So we can actually go over to the chart. Let me make sure that you're off of that screen, because I always forget that I can't do this on. Oh, yeah, it did take me out. Shoot. Share the screen. I'm going to have to practice this and see how I can get both of those screens on here so you can see it. But so we said 135. You know what? I like 135. That's fine. So if we break above 135, where are we headed to? Well, we're certainly going to be heading right. You could just look left here. You got 135.65. You got about 140. I like the 140 area for this. So because this is going to be a weekly trade, and it's because it's a swing trade and not a day trade, I'm looking for a bigger target on this. So if I say to myself, okay, I want to take a profit at 140, where is my stop loss going to be? And I can actually use my stop loss as my trigger, which is at the 135. And I can just say, hey, if it goes to 135 and then does a U-turn to, let's say, 134.75, I can make it really tight like that and say, get me out if I don't have any momentum behind me to take me to the target. Then I want to just get out, because then I know that it's still consolidating in this area and doesn't have enough juice to get me to where I'm going. So I could limit my losses with just that 25 cents. Okay. So let's do that, or $25. So let me go ahead and get to that screen again. If we come right over here and we go over to the gear icon for the limit order, let me share that screen with you. Can I share my screen with you? Boy, that's such a pain in the arse. Hold on for just a second. Let me see if I can do it. If I say stop share, present. There we go. You still can't see it. One more time. How many times do I get here, Zunaid? All right, this is it. Okay, so now this is my limit order, okay, to take profit. Sorry, guys, it's just me and StreamYard. I can't seem to get these, you know how on Thinkorswim, when you put up your order rules, for whatever reason, it's like it's another screen that you guys can't see. So I always have to get out of this. Now, remember, this is going to be my take profit at 140. So we're going to just click right here. You never even know there were any boxes if I didn't show you this. So you got UPS, mark is fine. And we're going to say greater than or equal to. You could look right here. And then I'm going to say 140 is my take profit. I'm going to tab out of that box. So now you can see that. We're going to come up here and do a sell the bid. And always remember, it's too bad, you know, when TDA went to Schwab, you used to be able to just click bid and this would always be 00. Now all of a sudden, like, something pops up. You want to make sure as an automator, if you're automating your trades, that is 00. You're like, hey, I'll sell the bid, and that's an aggressive seller, but I'm not going to like give you more money to sell this. Okay. You could just use a market order if you wanted to do that. You're going to make sure that this is good till cancel. And now we have our profit taking. So all you got to do is just save this. Great. Let me make sure we're back in present mode here. If nothing else, I'll get better at using these tools. Geez, Louisa. So now we're going to do our stop loss. So now I want to let you know that for Thinkorswim and most platforms, any stop you use is a market order. Okay, any stop. So if you use a trail stop, a limit stop, you know, they're all market orders. So just remember that. So what I'm going to do here is remember that you could do this by stock price or option price, but I wanted to show you how to program this so that you can do it in the future. So let me see if I can stop share, get to that screen again. Here's the order rules. Okay, so here is our stop. So we're going to do the same thing here as we did on all of them. You do one of these orders or two of these orders on a simulation platform, and you're going to be an expert at this in no time, okay? So you're going to, and by the way, I have a YouTube channel that has a lot of automation of videos. It's Trading Made Simple with Sandra. So check that out. So you're going to do UPS, mark. Now this is going to be, we're going to trigger this below or equal to, right? So if it goes to 135 as an example, triggers me into the trade, and then all of a sudden starts to do a U-turn, I want to get out. Because really what I'm looking for on a swing trade is momentum, like a wave, to be behind me so that it takes me directly to my target. If it has a couple days, that's fine. But I really want the oomph, because that's when you know that the institutions, there might be some resistance there, but the institutions are all in, right? And so then you have this push because all of the automations are triggering. And that's what I'm really looking for. So I don't want a big loss on these types of automated trades. So here now, what's my threshold going to be? We talked about 134.75, giving this 25 cents or $25 to see if it's got enough oomph to take me to the target. So now if you look here, you can see that it says the mark price of the security is less than or equal to 134.75. If it is, get me out with a small loss. Now remember, because we're not dealing with an option price, and we don't know what the option price is going to be when all of this happens, because we don't know if this is going to happen on Monday or Wednesday or even Thursday or Friday, right? So we want this to say sell. We could do sell the bid. It's always a market order anyway. But remember, you're not going to give them any more money to do this. You tab out of the box. You say good till cancel. And you save it. Now, let me make sure we're back on. Now that I'm getting a little bit better at this. Share the screen. All right. Now that we are back in Thinkorswim, we have our order set. And if I hit the confirm box, I got to show it to you again. Hold on for just a second. StreamYard. Oh, my Lord. There's got to be an easier way, Zunaid. You're going to teach me in the near future how to do this so I could do this more often. I don't do it because I know I know how this is. And so it almost scares me. All right. So we're going to now, when you look at the confirm order box here, you got buy one call. And it's going to be for November 29th. It's a 135 call for UPS. Mark at or above 135. Excellent. So that's in $1. Now it says for my limit, if it gets to 140 or above, exit me with my profit, right? And then if it shoots below 134, after it triggers me in and starts to make a U-turn and come back to the 134.75 level, get me out. And this is how you would automate your trade. I'm going to send that in. And let me get back to presenting here. All right. So now you have your order in and it's ready to rock and roll. And you can see that it's on here on the chart itself. It's letting you know there's an order in waiting, right? So you could do this. In fact, we teach a class, a master class. We call it autopilot passive trading system. And the reason why it can be passive trading, because you're setting up and passive income, right? If you end up hitting your targets, you can actually make some money doing this. So the deal is that we try to, really have people concentrate more on swing trades than we do on day trades. Because of the bigger targets, you can actually make a little bit more money here for a swing versus a day. When you're trading manually, you have all your emotions, right, that are connected to watching the screen on a really small time frame. And when you do that, there's a lot of fake outs that happen, or maybe, you bought a call as an example, and yet price is just going sideways because, oftentimes if you don't get it right at the open, the first 90 minutes, during the day, you have a lot of consolidation. And then everyone looks at the market for the last hour, for power hour, to see if there's going to be any volatility. Because, day traders really like that volatility. The nice thing about a swing trade is you could keep that on for a week, knowing exactly where your stop loss is, as well as your take profit. And so these types of ways to utilize your own platform is in a masterclass called Autopilot. You could get to it by going to tradingmadesimple.org/autopilot. And you can learn more about it. But it's a very popular course. It's one of the first courses that our coaches teach at tradingmadesimple.org. And we really want people to utilize not manually trading, but automating their trades. Because if you're a beginner trader, you're going to be surprised how many tools are on your platform to help you with automation, number one. And number two, you don't have to be an expert chart analysis person to be able to trade. All the platforms have support and resistance levels. In fact, we give you an indicator that actually shows you where your trigger levels are for your calls as well as your puts and where your targets are, so that I don't have to just look at the chart, take a look to the left, see where the prior high is, and do all of this other stuff. Sometimes, that can get confusing to people. So what we did is created a very simple system that anybody can do, even if you're a brand new trader, to automate your trades on the weekend. Let them go. And we do this, by the way, all on a simulated platform until you actually feel confident with your own skills. So that's really important, is not to ever use your capital if you're not confident with your own trading skills. And because this strategy is specific to automation, we want you to be a confident automator, right? So we want you to get in there on a simulated platform and practice these trades. We really like our members to have at least 30 triggered trades, which means that the automation actually triggered, so that you could evaluate your automation process. So it's really one of the coolest things I ever did was learn automation on Thinkorswim. It took me a while. But after I learned it and I put my first trade in, and I have to tell you, I sought out automation on my own years ago. And the reason is because I live in Southern California and it's really early here. It's 6:30 when the market opens. And so because it's so early, I wanted to sleep in. I just was tired of doing my homework the night before and then, waiting that next day, waiting to do absolutely nothing, really. I was like, isn't there an easier way to do this? So my first trade was on Lululemon. I made over $800 on that trade overnight, slept in, woke up in a panic because I had to run to my platform to see what in the world happened with my first trade. And that was it. As soon as I did it, it was like such an eye opener that, wow, you can do your homework either the night before or, we teach our members to do it for the week on the weekend. So you don't have to be a professional trader. You don't have to be staring at your screens all day, and you let those trades run. And it's been very, very successful for our members. So if you want to check that out, tradingmadesimple.org /autopilot and take a look. So I hope doing this automation with you today was helpful. I hope that if anything, that it, gets you more interested in actually using your platform to the fullest, right? So, because we have these tools. All right, let's take a look at Amazon real quick. So this was a good trade. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next week on that one. And we'll leave that in there. That'll be our trade for today, for next Friday. Looking at Amazon, this is on a 5-minute. So let's take a look on a daily. All right, breaking out of consolidation, good sign, making a higher high, right? We were at a double top here, making a higher high here, coming down. This right here is on a daily is our pivot high, right? So that was our last, you can see right over here, that was our last high. So if we maintain support right here and we don't break below it, okay, we could go sideways for a while. But if we take a bounce here, this will be a really nice entry point. But you can see that momentum right now is actually speeding through the 100 level. This to me means we could have a possibility where we break below this and actually go to this next support level. But we'll take a look. Oftentimes where we have support and resistance, they serve as fake out zones. And the more you recognize this, the more you won't get like, too upset about it. So whenever we get to support or resistance, it's always a fake out zone. And I always like to see one candle that's either above it or below it. So here I'm looking for a green candle, right? A bullish candle above this level to say, okay, we're heading in the right direction. We've done a bounce and we're not on top of it. I don't want to be on top of this level like this. See this candle right here, how it's laying on top of it? This is a great confirmation candle right here. We go up, we go down, we go up, and then it comes down and it lays on top of it. This is the candle that I'm looking for to go long, because here you have, okay, we tested it, we didn't break below it, and now we have a green candle, which is a bullish candle. And what direction are we going? We're going to make a higher high. And so then you could be in this trade, right? And so those are a couple things that I personally look at when I take a look at a chart. But the nice thing about autopilot is that you don't have to be an expert at all of this chart analysis and support and resistance levels and what you're looking for. We're simply saying, hey, look, you break above a point of control and you're heading higher for the calls. And if you break below point of control, you're going lower to the next support level. And so if you can make it that simple and create a system of that, you never know, could really help you out.
All right. Appreciate the insights there. And yeah, it's always good to kind of, whether you're going to the gym or you're waking up a little later because you're on the West Coast, always good to get your orders, limits, stops, all that good stuff in as well. We appreciate your time. And of course, we put your website out there, your YouTube channel. You can go ahead and check her out more on tradingmadesimple.org /autopilot if you want to check that out. Where else can they find you on the Twitter side?
Oh, on Twitter, options_Sandy.
All right. Appreciate your time as always. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, this was fun. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye-bye. And by the way, nice call on the fight. That was fun to watch.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that was fun to watch.
It was fun
I
to watch.
really liked the girls' fight. I thought the girls' fight was awesome.
I don't know how they do it. You could just, a paper cut would get me to tap out. So props to all the fighters out there. It was incredible.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. All right. Bye-bye.